Like an absolute rock star, Paddy Pimblett.
All eyes are on Paddy Pimblett.
That's it. That was the moment. The moment Paddy Pimblett became real. Not just a haircut, not just a crowd popper, not just a meme with a Scouser accent. No, last night at UFC 314, Paddy the Baddy finally silenced the cynics, punched through the doubts, and wrote himself into the narrative of lightweight contenders with a performance that was equal parts violence and vindication. Let's rewind.
Paddy the Baddy, the man that took over Miami, not only tonight, but this entire week.
Yeah, wherever I land, lad, I take over.
The hype train has been screaming down the tracks since the day he signed. He had the walk, the talk, the fans, the wigs, the walkouts, the full superstar package.
It was brilliant. Like, I'm very happy with my performance. Yeah, I think I've got the best fight IQ in the game.
But let's be honest, every time he stepped into the octagon, there was a question hanging over the fight like a bad smell. Was he really that good? Yeah, Jared Gordon? Controversial. Tony Ferguson? Heartbreaking. King Green? Cool name, but not elite. Every win came with an asterisk, a mental footnote. But let's see what happens when he fights someone real. Enter Michael Chandler. Not the Chandler of 5 years ago, sure, but still a dude who has been in there with the top of the top. Gaethje, Poirier, Oliveira, Hooker. The kind of guy you don't beat unless you belong in the deep end. This wasn't a warm-up, this was a test. And Paddy aced it. From the opening bell, you could feel it. The energy in the building shifted. Possessed. And you'd be forgiven for thinking Paddy was about to get Michael Johnson'd, but nah. He stayed composed, calm, laser-focused. Didn't panic, didn't flinch, he fought smart.
Reset a little bit and explode. Oh!
And when Chandler lunged in wild, that left hook, boom, money. Turned Chandler's legs to jelly. Liverpool erupted. But it wasn't just a punch, it was the poise afterward. He didn't go in reckless. He picked his shots, landed the ground and pound like a surgeon with fists. And when the ref waved it off in round 2, that octagon wasn't just a cage anymore, it was a throne. This wasn't Paddy the mascot, this was Paddy the problem. And I'll be the first to admit, I wasn't sold before. The antics, the fans, the goofy call-outs. It was entertaining, but it wasn't convincing. But last night, that was the blueprint of a champion in the making. Every fighter's journey has a turning point, a performance that shatters the past and redefines the future. For Paddy Pimblett, that was UFC 314. And let's be real, it wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Chandler has only been finished 3 times in his UFC career. Oliveira, Gaethje, and now Pimblett. That's elite company. And Paddy didn't just finish him, he dominated him. He outclassed the vet, out-timed him, out-thought him. That's 7 straight wins in the UFC now. Second longest active streak in the division, just behind the champ Islam Makhachev. Yeah, let that sink in. So where do we go from here? There's talk of a top 5 opponent next. Arman Tsarukyan, Mateusz Gamrot, or maybe a marquee clash with someone like Dustin if he's still in the mix. Whoever it is, Paddy earned it. This wasn't manufactured hype. This was earned respect. And the best part? He's only 30, still young, still improving, still figuring things out. But now, with the performance to match the persona, he's a dangerous puzzle for anyone at 155. You can't train for swagger, you can't game plan against belief. Paddy fights like a man who already thinks he's won. And last night, for the first time, the cage agreed with him. Now, I'm not saying he's ready for Islam. Let's pump the brakes. But what I am saying is this. If you're still doubting the guy after that, you're not watching close enough. You know how it goes in MMA? There's hype and there's validation. Paddy had hype. Now, finally, he has validation. And to those fans who've been with him since Cage Warriors, through the haircut jokes, the doubters, the Jared Gordon drama, and everything in between, this one's for you. You stuck with the Baddy, and now the world is starting to see why. Chandler, respect to him, always brings it. But last night wasn't about Chandler. It wasn't even really about rankings. That was Paddy versus perception. Paddy versus the narrative. Paddy versus the past, and he won. Now cue the wigs, cue the walkouts, cue the madness. But this time, cue the respect. Paddy the Baddy is here. And he's not just selling tickets anymore, he's coming for gold. But here's the million-dollar question now. Who's next for Paddy the Baddy? Because after a performance like that, you know the sharks in the lightweight division are circling. Does the UFC strap a rocket to this guy and throw him in with someone like Arman Tsarukyan, the dark horse with wrestling that could smother a hurricane? Or maybe it's Mateusz Gamrot, another grinder who doesn't give anyone an easy night in the cage. Heck, could it even be Dan Hooker, a proven warrior who's always game for a firefight and could headline a London card with Paddy tomorrow? Or do we see a wild card, someone like Renato Moicano with the ground game and striking to make it fireworks? Honestly, whatever name ends up on that bout sheet, one thing's for sure, Paddy's earned it now. So let me know in the comments. Who do you think Paddy should fight next? Should he jump straight into the top 5 or take one more step before a title eliminator? Drop your predictions, matchups, hot takes, because this lightweight picture just got a whole lot more interesting. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. We've got plenty more breakdowns coming your way after every big card. Catch you in the next one, fight fans.